it's not safe, because if it does drop or you give it a little extra this is not going to be the most profound, life-changing saya video you've ever seen. But what it is going to be is a demonstration on, although unconfirmed by science, highly likely probably to be the most versatile 8-inch saya universal fit shape ever. Unconfirmed by science. And in this video, I'm going to show the fit test on several dozen knives that I have in front of me, and you get to see if you have one of these knives or one that looks very similar, size, shape, heel, spine thickness, the whole kit and caboodle, if it gets to fit. And for those of you that are just chilling out, winding down at the end of the day, looking for something mildly entertaining to watch, welcome. Okay, let's talk about this saya. We have a natural cherry wood saya crafted out of Chicago, Illinois, with locally sourced cherry wood. Now, this is designed for an 8-inch chef's knife or gyuto. However, there are several other knives that I have here, including bunkas, santoku, kiritsukes, and some smaller chef's knives and different shaped chef's knives that this also fits. Now, aside from the natural wood finish, which has a food safe oil and a very, very smooth grind to it, the biggest thing about this is that the magnets are embedded at the top here of the spine, so you don't have to worry about them ever falling out. And just to show you my little Allen key here, see if I can get that. Oh, is it gonna hold for my camera shot? Give me autofocus. Autofocus, there we go. Boop, okay, well, you get the point. It holds pretty well. So that's what's going to snug onto the spine of your blade. Okay, let's dive in, getting started with the Enzo, the 8-inch chef's Packwood handle, VG10 stainless steel with Damascus clad. Oh, here's one just to get out of the way so I don't forget that it doesn't fit. This is the Miyabi Evolution. And you can see this has an extra tall blade. It's about 1/4 inch taller than the other Miyabi knives, and it doesn't fit. So if you have this blade, this isn't for you. Continuing on with Miyabi, this is the new Miyabi Iki. Fits very nicely. Now, notice the curved bolster here. The Zwilling Pro, for example, does not fit, although this has very similar features as the Zwilling Pro. It doesn't fit because it's too thick, and what happens is the blade ends up sticking out a little bit. So it's not designed for that. This is the Miyabi Iki 20-year anniversary Santoku, which fits beautifully. Now, I showed you whether they fit, but what about this? Can you hold your saya like this without your blade just running out? You can with most of these. Now, let's be real. Most people should not be picking up their knife like this out of their kit or out of the drawer. It's not safe, because if it does drop or you give it a little extra wiggle like that, man, that could have been dangerous. See what I mean? Dangerous. Don't do that. If you do end up doing that and you slice your thumb like I almost just did, like just stop, okay? But the point is that if you do have it on a little bit of an angle when you're putting it down on your board or anything like that, you know that you are in good shape. Now, the other Miyabis that fit would include the Mizu with the SG2 stainless steel blade, and everything else that basically fits that same type of thing, which most Miyabi blades are the same. The Mizu and the Artisan and the Artisan 2 have a little bit of a taller blade, but it's not as tall as the Evolution. Holding pretty good. And the Miyabi Black with, what is this, 132 layers of stainless steel Damascus, deep etched with this big leaf burl maple handle and MC66 stainless steel core coming at a 66 Rockwell. How about a nakiri? This is the Enzo SG2 nakiri. Now, notice it slid out just a little bit. Well, there's a shorter blade, so there's not as much contact with the magnets. But if you want a nice US-made saya for your Enzo nakiri, go for it. Okay, this is the Yaxel Hana. This is much thinner. This goes up to 4 millimeters thickness at the spine. So what I have noticed in testing this is some of the really thin stamp blades, like this Yaxel Hana budget knife, still a great beater, a great first Japanese chef's knife, is sometimes it wasn't, it's actually holding pretty well. Oh, okay. So maybe the thinner blades that have more weight to it. This is a super lightweight handle. And overall, you know, let's look at this. Let's look at the Takamura SG2. Holding pretty good. Okay, so one of these blades, that's what it was. It was the, ready? The Shun dual core kiritsukes. I noticed that this one, ready? Okay, little shake and it comes out. This is super thin, and again, it's not the traditional shape that this is designed for. And I don't know where it's losing. It's almost like the finish of this blade. Does it hold decently? I mean, I'm shaking it to get it to go out. So does it work? Yes, it'll work. This is the Shun Narukami. Now this one I was curious about because of the way that the handle flares to look like a bolster. It just makes it. When I picked this up, I was like, nope, this is not gonna do it, but it does the trick. Okay, here's another Shun, the classic blonde. Beautiful, nice fit, snug. Which means that the Premier handle color doesn't matter. This is the walnut. Fits nicely as well. Even with that bulkier, more bulbous handle, it's holding nicely. Here is a Miyabi Mizu Santoku. And although it's a Santoku, it does the trick. Okay, for the rest, I'm just gonna put them right back on the board here. Here's the Mac Pro Santoku. Now, going in, because this is a shorter blade and just the angle I put in there, it got hung up for a second, but it's probably just more me than anything. Fits beautifully and a little shorter of a blade. So it gave just a bit, maybe a little bit more, but it still, for the most part, fits. This is the Kramer Cumulus with the SG2 core and deep etched Damascus cladding. Super bulbous handle. Even with that weight, fits nicely. Now, check this out. This is the Walnut saya that was designed specifically for the full-size Kramer Damascus, along with the Carbon 2.0. Let's do this test. For as heavy and bulky as these knives are, that's pretty... Okay, so this one, not so much. It's a lot more blade going in there. But the Carbon does, and the Meiji. Look at that blade. Love it. Okay. Our little Cameo there. This is the Kramer Narrow, which has a completely different blade shape than the others. Almost has that Zwilling Pro-esque type of straight spine with the curve there. And that fits and holds. The Shun Kanzo, here's another one kind of like the Narukami, where I wasn't sure if that handle would impede, but it's in there and it's holding on. Now, we've also seen fully stainless mono steel blades. We've seen deep etched Damascus, carbon steel, AUS 10, various other steels so far, and based on what we can see, the steel type, it's holding up. This is the Yaxel Hana Kiritsuke, which is, I believe, longer than, I guess it is still 8 inches. Now, I'm gonna be honest, with this, when that's going in, I can feel that K-tip ever so slightly touching the wood at the top there. It's not just curving, but as long as you don't cram it in there, you'll know that at least this will fit. This is the Shun Shiranami 69 layer, 71 layer Damascus, VG10, VG2. Shorter blade, not as tall either, and it's holding. Even with that curved bolster, which can sometimes, as we've seen, may or may not work, this is doing the trick. Okay, the Enzo HD Kiritsukes, beautiful. The Yaxel Hana Nakiri fits. We've got the Kurosaki K-tip Gyutos, fits and it holds. That's a very light knife. The entire Takayuki VG10 offering that we have on the site fits. That was the Kiritsukes. This is the Gyutos, the Nakiri, the Bunka, and the Santoku. Okay, little space over here. The Shun Shiranami Santoku, which looking at it like this, you can see it seems like, oh, you're real close. Actually, let me show that. I was talking about the Yaxel Hana, feeling that tip. You can see by the time this is fully in there and there's the space right here, it's definitely gonna touch. But their Kiritsukes goes all the way, that Takayuki VG10, and I don't really feel it as much. It's also maybe, it's all about where the handle hits, maybe like 1/8 of an inch shorter. So, you know, a little bit of a difference there. The Shun Shiranami Nakiri, and it's holding. I wasn't sure about that one. The Tojiro DP Classic, you better believe this is gonna hold. This is actually one of the blades that this was designed for because it's such a popular blade. The Shun Shiranami Gyutos, or chefs. Some people go back and forth between is it a Gyutos, is it chefs? Can you call it a Gyutos if it's not octagonal? You do you, whatever you want. This is the DP Basic, I'm sorry, the Tojiro Basic, good to go. All right, powering through the rest of the Global Sai Nakiri. This is one of my blades I've had for a very long time. Pretty heavy as well, and that held. The Global G2. Now, there's a little extra wiggle at the tip. Not that you should be shaking it too much, but this fits perfectly. This is the VG, I'm sorry, what am I saying VG for? I'm getting all excited here. This is the Global Model X with that 4mm spine thickness at the heel, chef's knife, and not only does it fit, but it sticks. As heavy as this is, as thick as that blade is, still does trick. A Yoshikane SKD Gyutos. Man, the editing on this is going to be pretty challenging because I'm going to be going back and forth and back and forth. I usually don't go this fast. This is a Takamura. Nope, lied. This is a Murataka. I got my syllables kind of backwards and upside down. 700 years of family knife making. Pretty fantastic. This is their Gyutos. Fits. Our Zuma Martin Stitic stainless steel synthetic Karochi. Just tell you, this is one of my favorite knives. Definitely fits. The Mac Pro MTH80 fits. It sticks. This is the Hatsuko Koro Kurogane Santoku. And although it's shorter, it fits and sticks. Same thing with the Bunka, just basically the same blade with a cut at the top. Fits and sticks. The Hatsuko Koro Kumokage Nakiri. Now, this one is interesting because if you put it in, you can see where it's definitely going to touch as soon as the heel gets in there. It's just close. It's a snug fit. If you have this blade, there's probably better Nakiri Sayas out there for it. But if you want a US made Saya from cutlerymora.com and you have this blade, does it work? Yes, totally works. The good thing, as you notice, with all of these is I did not have to use the pin. Come on, there we go. Because of the magnetized spine and the way they're built into that, no need for a pin or string or anything. It's going to hold. This is the Enzo SG2 bunka, which is a tall, full-size bunka. Ooh, wrong way, first time. Fits and holds. This is the Zwilling Gourmet, which would be the only Zwilling aside from the Tanray. So the only Zwilling out of Germany that is going to fit. Even the Slim Pro does not fit because of that thick flared bolster. We already saw the Enzo chef's knife. This is the Yaxel Ron. Yaxel makes Enzo for us, so they all fit. Ooh, this one is actually sliding a little bit. A little bit. It must have a real heavy handle. A little bit. In your kit, in your drawer, going to be totally fine. Let's see. I was surprised by this one. This is the K Sabatier. I believe it's 8 3/4 inch. They mark it, I believe, as just a 9-inch. Looks like it's real close, but check this out. Fits beautifully. Okay. Enzo olive wood nakiri fits and sticks. That's a VG10 stainless steel core with a sashimi finish. Same thing with the Gyutos. Their Santoku also fits in here. That is downstairs. This is the Enzo hand forged Awagami Super Bunka, which comes with its own saya. But if for whatever reason you lose it, here you go. This is the K Sabatier 200th anniversary Swedish steel chef's knife. This comes with a leather sheath, but if you want a wooden saya, you're good to go. Now, because of the shape of the blade, you got a little wiggle room in there, but it holds on to it. And then even if it gets bumped that way where it's not hitting the magnets, okay, it'll slide out. So keep that in mind. Again, just because it can hold the knife this way doesn't mean that you should. This is the Saji Strix Gyutos. Beautiful blade. Strix is like the new version of SG2 or the step up from SG2. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that. The Zwilling Tanray FC63, which is Zwilling's version of SG2, coming into 63 Rockwell Santoku, fits. And even the Gyutos, which is going to have that Iki-like Zwilling Pro curved bolster. Beautiful. And, it's all about that, right? Keep in mind, even if your knife is snug always, you should still not pick it up like that. This is the Miyabi Koya Nakiri, which is a big nakiri. Fits. Their Santoku. We've got the Max Cook Series, Chef Series. See, this is one of the blades. It's pretty thin, but it's holding. It'll do the trick. Okay, I was happy about this one. This is the Wusthof Classic Demi Bolster. Yes, Wusthof Classic makes a Demi Bolster. And it holds. Another Miyabi Koya, the 8-inch chef's, goes in and sticks. Here's one that I thought was interesting. This is the Steelport out of Portland, Oregon, that comes with a walnut saya. Or is it a cherry saya that's stained? Comes with a natural wood, no, it's a maple saya. Yes, maple saya, because it's also sourced out of Oregon. Stained a nice dark color. Looks like it's walnut. And this, ish sticks. Comes with its own saya, so I mean, whatever. That's a heavy blade too. The Shun Classic Santoku Two more. This is the Yaxle Super Go. Come on, autofocus. Kiritsukes. 161 layers, I believe it is, of stainless Damascus. Fits and sticks. And the very last one, I do believe, is going to be the Enzo HD Santoku. Now this, considering it's a shorter blade and curved at the tip, let's say, beautiful. So, quick little recap on our new cherry wood built in America out of Chicago, Illinois, food safe oil finish, highly sanded for a smooth, silky bottom type of a finish with embedded magnets along the spine so they won't fall out. Designed for an 8-inch chef's or Gyutos, but as you saw, fits various other knives. So here's the deal. If you think this will fit your knife and you're not sure, no big deal. Order it, give it the fit test, the stick test. If it fits at least for the fit test, but it might not work for the stick test, that's probably okay as well. Just don't pick it up like this. But if it does both, great. If not, we'll take it back. Just don't, I don't know, like don't throw it in your driveway and run it over before you return it. That's like our big bugaboo. We don't like that. So there you have it. I am Chef Brandon with CutleryMore.com. And this officially has been the most profoundly life-changing Saya video you've ever seen. And this is available at CutleryMore.com. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.